I head down the stairs and I hear this sound as I'm going down. What is that sound? It sounded like something was just tumbling or crashing down. I get off. I'm like, it must be nothing. I get down to the bottom, to the main floor. There's a whole bunch of people standing where the elevator should have been, and the elevator's crashed. All the safeties are off. They don't know what happened, and it crashes to the bottom. And I'm just going, oh my God, I cannot believe this has happened. And I remember he had the deepest blue eyes I've ever seen. And even though he looked like he was like 65, 7 years old, really he looked like he has this charm on his face. So I go and ask the nurses at the nurses station, did you see this? The guy is like, they're like, there's no janitor up here. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no one up here. Hi, I'm Hanul Bhandari. I'm the founder of Brainology, the chief medical officer at Sarana Health, as well as Wisdom Labs. And I'm a neurologist and sleep medicine specialist by training.
That's Dr. Hanul Bhandari, by the way. He's being humble, but very cool. Where does this story that you're going to tell us start?
Well, it starts about a few years back. I'm still a medical student at the time, and it was life-altering. The story goes back, basically changing how I see things and what the world truly is. And I think, as enigmatic as that sounds, you'll hopefully understand where I'm coming from by the time the story finishes up. But it starts out with me going for an interview for a residency program, and I'm on time but nervous as expected. And in the morning, I'm getting ready to head over into the elevator, get up to the whatever happens. We finish up the interview, looks great. I'm about to head out, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. I think I'm gonna end up here. And a guy approaches me right out to the elevator. There's no one for some reason. I think everyone's gone, and there's only a few people in the hallway, and it's in the hospital. And almost like a janitor, he's a janitor, was what I assumed, approaches me, puts up a sign on the elevator, and it says, "Do not use," but it's written in like his handwriting. And I'm going, "Oh, is it not for use?" He goes, "No, you can't use this elevator." I'm going, okay, but I'm going to go down 15 floors of stairs here, or I think 15 or 20 floors. And he goes, "Just use the stairs. I'm telling you, this is out of commission." So something told me intuitively that I should trust this guy. Never met him before, don't know what it is, but it sounded very ominous, and it felt like I had to listen. I was almost compelled to listen to it. And so I go, I'm tired. I'm just going to go down these stairs. I head down the stairs and I hear this sound as I'm going down. What is that sound? It sounded like something was just tumbling or crashing down. I get off. I'm like, it must be nothing. I get down to the bottom, to the main floor. There's a whole bunch of people standing where the elevator should have been, and the elevator's crashed. All the safeties are off. They don't know what happened, and it crashes to the bottom. And I'm just going, oh my God, I cannot believe this has happened. There was going to be no one else on the elevator except me, and that guy stopped me. So I'm going, I was in shock. I run up this flight of stairs all the way up to the 15th floor or 20th floor, if I forget what it was. Try to find that guy. There's no sign. There's no guy. And I remember he had the deepest blue eyes I've ever seen. And even though he looked like he was like 65, 7 years old, really he looked like he has this charm on his face. So I go and ask the nurses at the nurses station, did you see this? The guy is like, they're like, there's no janitor up here. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no one up here. And I even went to the, you won't believe, I went to the security. I said, can you have footage of this floor? Was it, what, do you know anybody of that? And he's like, I've never met a guy like that. He even humored me and went in and checked the footage. And it was a blind spot, but you could kind of see me on the footage with the camera, and there was nobody on the footage. There was nobody on the footage. And I had this chill running, but it was a good feeling. I've never had that happen to me, but it changed. It was life altering. At that moment, I realized how small I am, how big this universe really is. At that moment, you want to call it God, you want to call it the universe, you want to call it an angel, whatever you want to call it, divine intervention, nothing short of that. Saved my life, because I would have fallen down so many floors, and I don't know what it would have changed my career. I probably wouldn't be a doctor, but it also changed the lives of so many patients I've treated over the years. So that butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it, changed me forever, and changed those patients and everyone else involved forever. And I thank that person or individual spirit, whatever you want to call it, because people can look at me funny going, that didn't happen. It did. And I don't have proof of it, except for my own two eyes and my ears and my conversation with the guy. But again, it made me feel so insignificant in the universe. At the same time, it made me also feel that someone's watching over, knowing that I have a bigger purpose. And that's why it's life altering. Because from that moment, I dedicated myself not to just being a doctor, but a doctor of the people, where I go out of my way to make sure that from that moment, whatever time that I was given extra, I use it to the best of my ability to help out people in the masses, not just one individual person. That's why I became chief medical officer, so I can help direct the masses, where I can give direction, I can give guidance where it's needed, and help out. And so that's how it's so life altering. That one 10-second conversation changed everything.
Wow. That sounds like you had Babaji or Lahiti Mahashai show up, right? And just
Yeah.
post that note on the wall for you. He couldn't have, well, I guess he could have gone and at level 14 and 13 and 12 could have posted that for anybody else that was going down. Was there anybody else in the stairwell with you?
No, there was no one else in the stairwell. It was
You-
an echo that going down I could hear. I couldn't see all the way to the bottom, but by the time I exited, there was nobody. You would
Yeah,
hear.
you could tell when people are in the
Yeah,
stairwell with you.
yeah,
Yeah,
there
there's
was
empty.
nobody there. But I'm telling you, it was so real. Actually, I still remember him slamming it on the elevator doors with like a force, but it was a graceful force. You know, it's like, don't do this, and I'm putting this on there, giving me that cue that I'm authority here. Don't override this and take this elevator down. And the sign wasn't there. There was no sign. So to this day, I'm going, what happened? I'm happy it happened.
Have you been able to create that guidance system internally in your life since that time? Are you able to put up do not use signs in your neuropsychology, right? Where you're trying to make a decision or you're trying to make a move or you're living your life and you've aligned yourself with this divine navigation system where you have those warnings that are just kind of always present for you, or you have that guiding system available for you, and how does that work? Tell me about it.
So I've used that's an excellent. I've used it for guidance where I feel almost an intuitive presence, if you will, in the sense of knowing that I have some purpose, or at least saved for some purpose. I use that to just take a moment at times to go, is that the right thing? Make sure that this is the best outcome for X, Y, and Z, whether it's a patient, whether it's a colleague, whether it's something else. So I put that, if you will, that safety mechanism on more than anybody usually would, and kind of let me introspect, but also get that guidance, if you will, from the universe. And I think that moment changed it to where I feel like I said, I'm just a small piece of the universe. And if there's some kind of interaction, it's a good idea to continue to get those messages if there is something there. And now and then I'll feel like very strongly motivated, if you will, to go on this direction or go this way. And it's almost like it's like a guiding force. And I think that's important for anyone to have in their life, is that you can call it a consciousness, um, you know, a Jiminy Cricket, whatever you want to call it. But everyone needs that. And I think that it's all about that humility to know that we don't know everything. We will not ever know everything. And we should continue to try to learn every day and try to introspect from the universe, from religion, from spirituality, whatever it might be, that we should try our best every day to help out others, to make sure that we do the best we can, and to make sure that we didn't leave something on the table that we could have done better for. I think if we give it our all every day, that's all you can expect. And I think that's to your point. That's where I get that. Right, I'll pause, and I'll get that. Okay, and we should do it this way. That logical reasoning just takes a new leap, and I'm able to see a little better, a little more clear.
Dr. Bhandari, where can everyone find you?
You can find me in a few different places, but you can try LinkedIn to see get some information. So my LinkedIn website, also Brainology.co, to get some sense of what my vision and passion is at this point.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
This has been the Pulse Ox podcast. Please, if you found this episode valuable, give us a like on Spotify and share it with a friend.